Hey, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're taking a look at how to prepare for an ayahuasca ceremony. We must remember, in the Amazon, there are children from the age of 5 that are partaking in ayahuasca ceremonies with Saint Daime. So firstly, what are the steps to make this successful? We're spending a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort for this one evening where we're going to break through the matrix, lift the veil and see the truth for ourselves. So you really want to be prepared. And firstly, there are certain conditions where people aren't able to do ayahuasca ceremonies, and those are on certain medications such as heart medications, statins, blood pressure medications, and the beta blockers. So anything to do with the heart, you don't really want to mix that, and partly because some of the medication, the ayahuasca itself, has the MRIs in it, and that acts as a blood pressure medication, so it lowers one's blood pressure. So you don't want to be messing around with these things. And then it is said that people with diabetes sometimes can't do ceremonies, but what we've found is people with diabetes can do ceremonies, but obviously you want to check and make sure that the person's not on blood pressure medication. And then the worst medication that you can mix with ayahuasca is antidepressants. You really don't want to go down that road. Even if you think you're weaning yourself off for long enough, you want to make sure that you've weaned yourself or taken yourself off this medication for at least a month before you partake in ayahuasca. Really do not want to mix the two medicines. It's not a good sight, not an experience for you to go through in such a condition and to let other people see what you're going through. It's a real nightmare. And then if you're physically fit and healthy and have no major health issues, and I can also mention, for an example, some people with thyroid issues that take altroxin or euthyrox or any of the thyroid medications, you can partake in ayahuasca ceremonies. It's not going to change the hormonal influence in the bloodstream. And as I've mentioned before, diet is exceptionally important when it comes to a ceremony. So a lot of people start the fast or the diet the week before, following a particular diet where they're avoiding certain things. So there is certain hacks to this. It is better to fast and to purify your body before ceremony so that you can maximize the experience and not waste the opportunity that you've been given. So what we found is really, if you're going to ceremony on a Saturday night, the day before, so let's say it's Friday, you can still eat your normal meals, but it would be better to stick to a healthier diet and seafood. So any seafood is good the day before ceremony. And it must also be known, on the day of ceremonies, some tribes actually eat fish early in the morning before ceremony. So that fish is really processed within that 8 to 9 hours before ceremony. And it just gives the person a bit of protein to maintain oneself through the day. So when you're looking at fasting, what we really mean here is we're eating certain foods that are not processed. So we're going to be eating fruit, vegetables, and possibly eggs in the morning for early breakfast, which is still fine. And there are many diets and things that you can follow, but it's really simple if you look at it. Just having a few eggs for breakfast, so you've got the protein, all the energy and nutrients you need. And then for the rest of the day, you can have certain vegetables, certain salads, and a lot of fruit. And make sure that you're drinking rooibos, a lot of water during the day so that you keep hydrated. And that also brings me to the point which I've already mentioned in my next video. Don't drink a lot of water before ceremony. So an hour or two before ceremony, just have little sips to hydrate yourself. And the less liquid, the less anything that you have in your stomach, the better your ceremony is going to be. You want to have an empty stomach. And remember, that also helps for the purge. So when you purge, nothing's really coming out. It's just a bit of medicine and bile. So it's also said that there are certain fruits and certain foods that we can't eat on the day. So obviously you're going to avoid all meat, all dairy, and dairy includes yogurt. Any sugars and any salt and any oil. So these are the things that you really need to avoid on the day of ceremony. It's okay if you've had them Friday, the day before, the body's going to process it and digest it. But on the day of ceremony, unless it's very early morning, you can still have your eggs with a bit of olive oil, a bit of mushrooms. And some of us also have a cup of tea or coffee very early morning, so you want to have that before 9. You could possibly even have 2 cups. So it's still going to give you enough time for your body to process it through the day until you get to your ceremony in the evening. When it comes to taking vitamins and microbes, you really want to stop the day before. Maybe even the microbes you want to stop a little bit before this so that there's no bloating in the stomach. And no vitamins on the day that can interfere with the medicine. Really, it's quite simple. You want to have a nice big breakfast and possibly even a big lunch with fruit, vegetables, and all these other things to keep the body full of energy so that when you get to ceremony, you don't feel like you're starving all the time. There does come a point when you break through the matrix where you're not going to be thinking of food. It sort of transcends that whole process. It's just initially getting up to that moment of ceremony. And if you've been eating enough fruit and having enough water, you're definitely going to feel fine in the evening. Also, what can be done before ceremony is the week leading up to this. There's a lot of meditations and setting an intention. So you want to be one-pointed, really focused on the intention of what you want to be revealed to you in a ceremony. But you must also remember, if the divine is coming through in a ceremony, they're going to use that one moment to communicate with you, things that are important. Whether they are showing you something about previous lives, something about your present life or the future life, you need to pay attention to those, to what is being shown to you in a ceremony. It's not necessarily that even though you've set your intention that you're going to get that answer. Spirit has more important things they want to show you. Sometimes the answer that you're looking for will be embedded within the evening ceremony as well. Now that you're prepared for ceremony, you want a really great evening, so you're going to need to lie on something comfortable like a mattress. You don't want to be lying on a hard ground for 5 hours. It's not going to be good. And you want a cushion for your head and you want blankets to keep you warm. So there's a phase when you get cold and there's a phase when you get warm, and then you can remove it. And especially in winter. And then the ceremony space, the place where you're going to find yourself. So you're going to have a mattress where you're going to be sitting and then eventually lying down. And you want to make it comfortable for yourself. And next to you will have a bucket and where you can purge if you need to. And remember, not everyone purges. But I find the purge, and according to ancient traditions, the purge is essential. You don't need a lot of medicine in you that needs to be activated by the divine. So it's good to purge. It gets the medicine out of you. It's less work on the kidneys, and then once you've recovered, then you can go for another round, preferably a smaller round than the first round. These are really, really simple steps to doing an ayahuasca ceremony. It's not rocket science, but you need to stick with the rules and make sure that your stomach is empty by ceremony. And even through the evening, you can rinse your mouth. Don't drink water. The less water you drink, the better your ceremony can be, depending on the medicine, of course. I hope you find some use in this video for when you do your ayahuasca ceremony, that you can make the night really, really special. And I've made another video over here, and how to navigate ayahuasca successfully. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next video.